excited to be back. And thank you for staying with me still. And today I'm twice as pumped because yesterday I was having this conversation with one of my closest friends, and she was watching this seerah about Sayyidatina Aisha radiallahu anha. And she was telling me, babe, when I saw and I'm learning the characters of Sayyidatina, kind of like reminded me of you, babe. You are this cheerful, bubbly character, aggressive, passionate. Now you're so passionate about learning, seeking knowledge. And I was like, I mean, to be compared, well, not compared, but to have similarities with one of the most influential women in the history of Islam, got to be the best compliment ever in my life. Because if you guys knew me like 10 years ago, I'm sure you guys wouldn't have liked me. I didn't like me. I was this monster, like, wait, is monster such a harsh word? Anywho, let's check out like the 10 signs of narcissism that was like, defined me, that made who I was. Let's check it out.
Da 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 da.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Hi guys, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. I'm Sri, a narcissistic survivor. On this episode, I'll be taking you guys through like the 10 signs of narcissism that I spotted within me. I'm no any licensed psychologist or anything, but this is just my observation. This is through my experience living with it for as long as I know, for decades. So let's go through them one by one. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest among all? Thou, O queen, art the fairest of them all. Number one trait that must have in all narcissists, including myself, is inflated ego. Now, inflated ego basically means an excessive sense of self-importance. I was the center of the universe. The world basically revolved around me. This inflated ego needs like constant fueling, needs constant pumping up. You know how one of those helium balloons that you buy for a birthday party, you leave it untied, it floats up to the ceiling of your house, and then after like few days it slowly goes down, decreases, and after a week it's on the floor. So it's the same analogy for this inflated ego. It needs to be like constantly fueled up with helium, so to speak, so it stays there up in the ceiling, and it needs to, I need to constantly stay up there. And how do I fuel up this constant need to feed my inflated ego, my ego? I need to feel superior. So in order for me to feel superior, I need to put other people down. So I needed to make other people feel inferior, less than me, by belittling them or insulting them or criticizing them. Who do you think I am? That is so beneath me. Talk to the hand. Very well, ma'am. I will see to it personally that you deserve something more of your above level. It's rude and arrogant. Naturally, I mean, like when you have this, excessive sense of self-importance, inflated ego, naturally feel arrogant because you feel like, I'm on top of there. I'm better than anyone else. I'm always right, and everyone else is wrong. And with that, I'm always feeling entitled. I always feel because I'm better than anyone else, Everyone should treat me with extra respect. I should be treated like a princess, like a queen. I deserve all the VIP premier treatment. Uptight perfectionist. I mean, come on. I'm on top there. So, naturally, I have to have very high standards. I cannot be like imperfect. I gotta be perfect. So because of this high standards, I was always like anxious and stressed because there's this very like sometimes even unrealistic like standards that I put for myself, even for others. And when I don't meet these standards, I bash myself like for days, like sometimes for months. I cannot get over it. Oh, Sri, why were you like so stupid? Why did you do this? Come on, Sri, think. I mean, come on, with all this perfection, the world revolving around you, you're being on top of the world. Naturally, you need an audience. You need an audience. Come on, you cannot be like, or putting up this performance and nobody's watching it. And right. I was always seeking for attention, craving for it. And sometimes I even go to great lengths to get it. I needed like constant validation and approval of others. If I, like dressed up nice, it wasn't enough that I knew that I dressed up nice. I needed someone to compliment me. I needed someone to say that, oh, Sri, you look good today. What did you do extra? Like, otherwise all those efforts went to waste. Self-centered, or in another word, selfish. So because in this story, the story of Narcissus, that's always only me, myself, and I. Always. There's no one else in the chapter, no one else in the movie. Always me. I'm always the heroine. And I have disregard for other people's feelings, or often at the expense of their well-being and happiness. This selfishness manifests in several ways. For example, like I don't like sharing any of my stuff with other people because I'm perfectionist. I'm a perfect person. My perfect things cannot be used by other imperfect people. And then sometimes I manipulate people to gain for myself, and I take credit on other people's efforts. I'm sorry, boss. I could not meet the deadline yesterday because I was having a stomach ache. I had to go to toilet to like 28.5 times. But don't care if you have to go to the bathroom for like 100 times. Deadline is deadline. You could have done your work from toilet. Lack of compassion. Because I was always, it's always about me. So I never I don't think about other people. Even if I think I can't feel, I don't have the capacity or the empathy to feel other people's pain. My pain and my little problems are always bigger than anyone else's problems. And I get awkward in situations where I have to be, empathetic, for example, or sympathetic. For example, like if someone experienced loss or a death in a family, I would avoid. I wouldn't go to the funeral. If I had the choice, I wouldn't go because I feel awkward. I don't know how. And basically, I just didn't care. Like, so what? Like, they lost someone. Why should I care? Like, it's none of my business, right? In 2013, 25th of November, I was waiting for your WhatsApp reply for 3 days, I lost my phone then. But I was hurt. But I already apologized like numerous times. Unforgiving. So because I'm a perfectionist, so of course there's no room for faults or any mistakes. Come on. It's impossible, unacceptable. You cannot make any faults. I'm this, champion of right and wrong. There's always like very clear for me. It's black or white. There's no gray area in my view. So if anyone makes mistake, it's difficult for me to let go. Like I will hold grudges for years even. I remember things that they did for like from 10 years ago. Oh, it's a struggle and it eats you inside. It's like, always like, that day. And every time you bring it up, every time there's a confrontation, I bring it up. Like, in 1993, you ate my food! And I was hungry. I had nothing to eat that day. I'm sorry, dear. I don't think I can make it for our dinner tonight. Let's take a rain check. We'll try to meet next week. How could you? I'm in depths of despair. I'm gonna hibernate. Disappointment intolerance. I had this tremendous difficulty dealing with frustration, sadness, disappointment. So I had this intense emotion reaction whenever like things don't go as I planned. So I dealt with it emotionally, always with anger and despair. I was most of the time in depths of despair. Just to send a text to someone, for example, I would overthink. I would spend really put my time, energy, and effort to craft the most perfect, beautiful reply of 3 words probably to this person. And then I would anxiously wait for their reply. And when they didn't reply, I would overthink. I would think the worst. I would think, oh no, like, did I do something wrong? Like, did I say something wrong? Did I offend him? Like, did I offend her or him? And this stresses me, and it would carry on until the night. I won't be able to sleep that night because someone just didn't reply my text. So as a result, I usually overthinking is one, and as I know the consequences, causing my sleep and whatnot, I would avoid the situation altogether. Usually, look, admit it, you made a mistake. I think you should have gone with option B instead of option A. How dare you! How dare you defy me! Temper tantrums. With all this concoction of emotions, stirring up, brewing inside of me, despair, disappointment, frustrations, anger, all these emotions that get bottled up, and sometimes, very often, in fact, it manifests itself outside whenever I get triggered by the simplest things. Like, for example, if you guys caught me on episode 1, I went all wacko just because of a bottle of chili sauce. This inflated ego is like ultra fragile. I cannot have anyone. I can criticize people all I want, but no one can criticize me. And I get all riled up and defensive and hostile when I'm criticized. When anyone, undergoes through trauma and it gets bottled up, when it's not healed properly and not managed well, it becomes like this infested wound that it eats me up from inside. So I was like a ticking bomb. I could, go deranged at a moment's notice. It was scary. I don't know how I sometimes I wonder how the people around me, dealt with me. must have been scary for them, you know. I think everyone around me must have been like walking, tiptoeing, like walking on a thin ice around me, because they know one wrong step and I will like, not smart, you're not cute, you're incapable of anything. Well, you gotta face it, honey. Life's unfair like that. Inferiority complex. In simple words, insecurity. Funny how, you know, when we went through all the previous traits about a narcissist, outwardly, like from the outside, from the surface, a narcissist would appear to be who is someone who is confident, arrogant, you know, all like. But then, surprisingly, underneath all that, it's a deep and rooted inferiority complex, insecurity. Basically, whatever traits I shared with you earlier is just a mask, it's just a facade to cover this insecurity. They are, because I'm a perfectionist, right? So I'm so worried that people will know my weakness. So I put up this, flamboyant facade. But actually, deep down, I'm insecure. I'm always like feeling inadequate. I feel like whatever I do is not enough, that, you know, nobody appreciates me, nobody loves me, like, you know, whatever I do is always wrong. So there you guys have it, like, you know, the 10 narcissistic traits that I saw in myself, or that I, you know, fought with, battled with, dealt with, managed with practically my whole life. Do you guys, like, you know, see any of these traits within yourself, maybe like I did? Or maybe in anyone close to you or of your loved ones surrounding you? Do share with me your feedback, your comments on how you are how's your experience dealing with narcissism. That's it, guys, for today. Catch me on the next episode. Stay with me as I take you through my life journey, how I overcame my narcissism. And on next episode, we'll catch how I was back from France and I was drowning, and Allah threw me. You know, like the lifeline. Yeah, and inshallah, He saved me. Alhamdulillah. Right. Bye-bye. Assalamualaikum, guys. Till next time. Peace out. Hello. Testing mic 1, 2, 3.